if you're watching this because you're thinking about starting the gym this year and you're feeling nervous or uncomfortable, this is the video for you. I'm going to talk through my story and also a few tips to make yourself feel a little bit more like the gym's a second home. Before starting the gym, I had this idea in my head that everybody in the gym would know what they're doing and I'd be the only one and I'd look a fool. But quite quickly you realise in the gym that it doesn't matter, it's not the point, everybody's there to learn. Every single one of those people in that gym had to start somewhere. I truly believed that I'd be the only one in that gym that just didn't know what she was doing. I felt out of place in the gym, I felt uncomfortable in the gym. I was comparing myself to bodybuilders in the gym before I'd even started the gym. So you can look back on these mindsets and these thoughts that I had, and already you can see I was comparing myself to people that had been training for years before I'd even done my first session. So it's quite funny looking back, really. When I started the gym, I started it because at the time I was actually a little bit underweight. I didn't like the way my body looked. I was concerned with my health, that I was going to grow up and be an unhealthy person, and it's a big thing to kind of take on at that time. I was only 16 years old when I started the gym at this point. So it was a massive mindset shift for me. And I remember walking into the gym for this first time, and luckily for me there wasn't that many people in the gym, but I was so uncomfortable, and I was lucky because I actually had my best friend with me. But he was actually off training with a friend, so he was doing something else and kind of left me to do me. And I honestly spent most of my session in the dumbbell area, just with 2 dumbbells hidden in the corner, trying to make up stuff that I could remember seeing on Instagram or something in the corner. And I did this for weeks. And when I say for weeks, I mean I didn't touch a machine for genuinely the first few weeks. When I finally booked up some courage, I moved on to the leg press machine. So that was the next thing I actually started using, and I used a leg machine with my little dumbbells. Then it continued for a few more weeks. So I was lost, I was young, I didn't have anyone to kind of show me the ropes at the time. So it's really funny looking back and thinking where you started, because it was a mess, it was a bit of a disaster at that point. But you just go forward. And then I remember I actually moved to another gym, and this is probably a year later. At this point you think I'd be comfortable in the gym and I would have had this big body transformation. I didn't. I still looked kind of the same, but I was kind of gaining confidence in the gym, gaining confidence in what I was doing, and I moved to this other gym. And it was a hardcore iron gym. That's what it was described at. And I went there because my best friend and his friend again, they moved there. And I was like, right, that's fine, we're moving. The gym I was going to close, and I was like, it's fine. And I remember walking into this gym, and oh my god, the horror, the absolute horror, the size of these men. These are big bodybuilders, there was Olympic lifters, strong men, and they were just huge men compared to my little frame at the time of being 17 years old. And it was mortifying. And I had to start all over again. It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming to say the least. And I had to start again. I really did. I had to learn to use the machines again. I had to become confident in myself again. Any bit of confidence I'd built from being in the gym that I was in was just gone, because these were new people, new environment. I went from a more local public gym to a gym where serious lifters came. So it really does make a difference. It's taken me years to kind of build up the courage to actually train and actually start using the machines, and it was a really long process for me, and I don't want that for you guys, because honestly there was no need for me to take so many years just to book up the courage to use some machines. It really was silly. But yeah, it's so funny looking back on what was happening, and it is crazy. At this point my confidence was starting to grow, because I was young and I really felt it at the time. And then my boyfriend at the time still with him, started powerlifting, and he started powerlifting, and it was a whole new thing to me. Because we were in this gym, the environment was completely different. There was powerlifters, bodybuilders, Olympic lifters. So he started powerlifting, so which is squat, bench and deadlift, basically for strength, not for looks. And I was I didn't know what to do with myself, so I was like, do you know what, I'm going to do it with you. So at this point I started powerlifting, I even got a coach. And yeah, it was a completely different environment. I wasn't doing it for looks, we were doing it for strength. And it was great because I had so many of my friends there and we had a great time, and at this point I'm in university, it's a new experience for me, and it was good. And I actually ended up competing, I believe I think it was like 2021, I believe I started competing in powerlifting. And it was around this time I started to notice that my shape was starting to change. I kind of went from being this plank to being a little bit more, had a bit more of a booty going on, and my shoulders started to come out a little bit more, just a little bit more of a shape. Nothing crazy, nothing that anybody walking the street would have noticed, but for me it was starting to make a difference. And again, it wasn't for looks at this point in my lifting career, but I really did enjoy powerlifting. However, go on a little bit into that, everybody started to move away, my friends started to leave, and you just lose your passion for things sometimes. My knees were starting to hurt, I was starting to get a little bit injured, and things change, life changes, so I decided to just start kind of bodybuilder style training. So I wasn't training to go on stage, nothing like that, but I was training to look better basically for the first time again. So that was pretty exciting, and that was probably about 2 years ago. 2 years, I think 2 years now since I've been kind of changed my training. So that was a big change for me. And then again, I changed gyms again, I believe about a year ago, to a different gym. And again, you start all over again. It's a new gym, it's got new machines. At this point, lucky for me, I had got a lot more familiar with machines. I was quite a lot more confident when it came to just being in the gym, kind of owning my presence in the gym. It was much better for me. But at this gym that I'm still at now, I don't speak to anybody. So it's completely different to that other environment. People just crack on with their gym sessions. You don't speak to people, you just go in, get your workout done, and you plod on. This is a picture of me today, and yeah, that's pretty much my stories. I think one of the biggest things that people don't, or women don't realise about lifting, is the health benefits that come with lifting are incredible. I mean, there's obviously your heart strength, your body strength. Having muscle as well protects your skeleton and everything like that. It stops you from getting a curved posture as you age, and it can make all the difference in aging. So every year lifting as a woman becomes more important. There's so much research from the best female researchers out there at the moment when it comes to menopause, when it comes to pregnancy, just everyone that's looking at female health saying that women should be lifting. Even bone density in women decreases as time goes on, and it is proven that lifting massively helps decrease the likelihood of bone density decreasing as you age. So it's really important to remember that lifting isn't just to look good, it's to feel good, to be healthier, so you can run around with your kids when you're older, so you can lift up that chair to hoover without breaking your back. It's so important as a human to make sure we are developing our muscles. So don't just think it's about looks, because it's not. Remember, when you go forward and you're thinking about, I don't know, breaking that diet or not going to the gym that day, that it's not about you not looking as good and missing one session. It's about your body and how your body's going to actually react and the benefits you're giving to it. So it's nice to have that well-rounded understanding of lifting as well, because it's more than just looks. Okay, so enough about me. Let's move on to a few tips that I want to give you so that your journey could be much quicker than mine was. So first of all, have a plan. So having a plan is so important. There are multiple free ones on influencer pages if you go onto a lot of YouTubers that you might follow or onto Instagram, and just start with these, because as you go on and you start to become more comfortable, you can change things in and out as you start to learn more, but overall you just need something to go to the gym with, because the last thing you want to do is go to the gym and then be really confused and not know what to do. So have a plan. Number 2, have a safety net, and what I mean by this is clothes. So whenever I go to the gym, I always have a baggy tee with me, because you never know how you're going to feel. You might get to that gym confident, but there might be that one person that you just weren't prepared to see. It's only human. So always have that piece of clothing that you can throw on, make yourself feel a bit more comfortable, and it won't ruin your session. Because so many times in the past that I've gone into the gym in just my sports bra and just my leggings or my shorts, and I've got there and felt so uncomfortable and I just wanted to leave because a certain move I was doing gave me belly rolls, or I could see the cellulite because of the lighting. Just have that baggy tee, make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable, because at the end of the day, you're in the gym to feel better, not to make yourself feel worse. Number 3, and maybe one of the most important ones for me, is planning it into your week. You need to start building that discipline and those habits, because if you haven't got that set time and that set day that you will be in the gym, you're just going to end up not going. Something will pop up that'll make you think, oh, I can't do this. It needs to be something that you're not willing to change. So if you need to, say, go to the shop, you know that, well, I can't go to the shop then, I'm going to the gym. So it's just having these plans basically in your week so that you know for a fact, this is what I'm doing, this is when I'm doing it. This was a massive game changer for me, especially when I started to get a little bit unreliable with myself. And to this day, when I start to get unreliable, I start to try and plan it into my week again, and it does help you just get there. The future you will only exist if you put in the work now. They can only thank you if you put in the work now. Nothing is going to happen magically on its own. So put in the work and be the best you, and future you will seriously thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have enjoyed, please do like and subscribe, because I am going to have more videos coming out where I'm going to be showing you my workouts, what I do, and a few more tips and tricks.